Now, I absolutely loved the civil war that the left had in 2024 because up until that point, left leaning people were like little soldiers just following orders. You had the papers just telling them about the cause, and everyone got on board. It's like now we support BLM, and everyone is like, yes, BLM is great. Abolish the cops. Fuck the consequences. Doesn't matter. Kyle Rittenhouse, evil, right? Like everyone had to say these things, and the moment someone would say something else, they would get canceled. During COVID, get the Pfizer communion, stay home, stay safe. Now go outside and protest. BLM, you need to protest, but you also need to keep the business closed. Stay inside. Like everyone was parroting the exact same mainstream media opinion. And all of that changes when you have the war in Palestine. Now, the reason I think this changes is because left-leaning people were indoctrinated into woke ideology, which is left-leaning identity politics. And left-leaning identity politics teaches you that capitalism is bad, the cisgender, straight, white, heteronormative male is the worst evil imaginable, and it also teaches you that Christianity is bad, but Islam is good, and so brown people are the best. It's like a very simplistic and narrow way of viewing the world based on people's identity, right? And so when you have the conflict in Israel, well, they're looking at Benjamin Netanyahu and they're eyeballing him, and it's like, well, he looks white, he looks cisgender, he looks heteronormative, and he's straight and male. And on the other side, you have brown people that are poor, right? And so, like, most of left-leaning people, immediately, they jumped on the bandwagon of Palestine. The problem is that the institutions, right, like the elites where the money is, well, they're on Team Israel. And so you have like the little civil war, and as you can see here, it also happened on Twitch, where you have like the Twitch streamers like Hassan Piker and they're Palestine, but like the ADL cracks down on Twitch. Here you have Rachel Ziegler that's from Palestine, but like Disney is freaking out. And this was like attacking even journalists, right? Like you had the people working at the corporations being on the side of Palestine, but the people owning the corporations, they were on the side of Israel. So for an ideology that doesn't allow dissent, that doesn't allow people to just have different opinions, that can't just say, okay, well, we disagree on this thing, but let's keep it professional, let's both focus on the job, they can't allow that. So it ended up with many people getting canceled, right? And apparently Disney went through something similar. And apparently they hired social media watchdog for Rachel Ziegler after controversial post. It's like, oh Dios mío, which one? Because, like, this woman was a controversial machine. Like, every single time she said something in public, it was controversial. But apparently, Disney found one post that freaked them out to the point where they had to hire a posse for her. So this happened in August 12, like, during the peak of the Civil War on the left. Rachel Ziegler introduced the first official trailer for Disney's live-action Snow White. The trailer quickly gained 120 million views in just 24 hours. And notice how they don't mention the downvotes, right? Well, like, this is how they spin it. This is how they tell it to their shareholders, I believe. Like if you have the most amount of people hate watching the trailer, which means that it doesn't transform into a sale. Like, those people will never buy a ticket. They will never go to see the movie. They're like, just look how awful the trailer is, right? So they're looking, they're downvoting, they're leaving a negative comment, they're mocking, they're ridiculing, but they're not actually going to see the film. But, like, the people from Disney, they're spinning it in a way, well, I mean, it got 120 million views. I have a feeling that you're not going to get 120 million sales, but anyway. So, in a follow-up social media post, Ziegler wrote, "And always remember Free Palestine." Oh, goodness gracious, right? So, her statement, which reached 8.8 million views, shocked Disney executives. So I want you to understand what Disney's priorities are, right? Like, when she attacks Donald Trump, in other words, like, she attacks half of the audience, right? Because, like, in America, it's not even half, actually. It's more than half, right? Because you want the popular vote. Like, in America, more than half of your potential customers are Trump supporters. And you have, like, a person that instead of, like, shutting the fuck up and just allowing everyone to see the movie without trying to poison the well, when she comes up and attacks half the customers, Disney doesn't care. Like, that's fine. When she shits on the actual story that she's playing in, basically, like, insinuating that the people who like the traditional Cinderella, they're backwards, they're bigoted, like all those insinuations, that's fine. Right? I mean, she's got free speech. But the moment she's like, free Palestine, that's when Disney freaks out. It's like, oh my goodness, how can she say this? Like, oh, I mean, of course, like, we want strong and powerful women to speak out, right? Like, we want to empower women, but not like that. And this is not the first time, right? Like, again, Disney is all about feminism until the women have a mind of their own. And then they freak out, because they did the same with the other lady, Gina Carano. Which, again, you know, like, Disney allows you to be a strong, independent woman until you open your mouth. And then the mouse goes like, ha-ha, back to the kitchen, ha-ha, ha-ha. Yeah, like, seriously, this is what a lot of people hate about these woke corporations, because it's so obvious that it's a grift. It's so obvious that they don't believe the message, but it's not that they're just promoting the message. They're trying to force the message on other people that they themselves don't believe in. And so they were concerned about the impact on the film and her co-star Gal Gadot, which is from Israel. Well, you know, no offense to Gal, but I think you should be professional about it. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. You know, like, she's from Israel, but she's working at Disney now. She's in America, is working with another person that has a different take. So fucking what? Like, I'm willing to bet this problem doesn't come up in Japan. I'm willing to bet this problem doesn't come up in Romania. Like, I guarantee you, if you have, like, a Romanian business, and you have a person that thinks differently, like, when you're at the workplace, you just don't talk about it. In their free time, whatever the fuck, you ignore it. Like, seriously, how do human beings manage to solve drama at the workplace? Because surely there must be a lot of drama, right? You just don't talk about it. You don't bring it up. Like, how do these Americans manage to do, like, if you get a divorce and you're still working with your wife at the same workplace? Like, you still need to go there. You still need to do a job. Like, how do you manage, huh? Do you just throw a hissy fit until you get your way? But apparently, like, Gal Gadot, according to this article, didn't even do anything. It's just like Disney was concerned on her behalf, okay? Following the past, death threats towards Gadot increased. I love how death threats is now like a currency on the internet, on who's winning the debate. It's like, how many death threats you got? I got 5. Well, I got 6, so therefore I'm right, you're wrong. Did you notice this? It's like the transforming of the death threat into some sort of currency. I'm not justifying like people should get death threats, but come on, you know, like, when are we going to stop with this? It's the fucking internet. You know, if Skullfuck47 says they want to fuck your mom, like, they're not actually going to do it. I mean, this was the mentality back in 2016. That we used to call these people keyboard warriors. It's like, yeah, you're a tough guy when you have a keyboard, but like in real life, you don't do shit. Do you guys remember that mentality? Like, what happened with that? So, she didn't understand the repercussions of her actions and what it meant for the film or for Gal or anyone else. So like, you're trying to say that if Rachel Ziegler wouldn't have said Free Palestine, Gal Gadot wouldn't have gotten death threats? Like, do you think that like, Rachel Ziegler said something that no one thought about? Like she was mind-blowing people? It's like, oh, you know what? Maybe she does have a point. Yeah. I think like Rachel Ziegler has a point. No, she said the thing that the leftists do, you know? Like, when leftists think that there's a cause that's trending, they say the thing. That's literally how it works. That's how it has worked. They don't have to believe in the thing. They don't have to care about the thing. It's just pure virtue signal. And she just said the thing. So a few months later, after the United States presidential election, Ziegler said fuck Donald Trump and made Trump supporters never know peace. Like, again, this lady is a controversial machine. Like, when she wakes up in the morning, she says something controversial. When she takes a shit, she probably also says something controversial. Like, she can't fucking help it. But like, after all these years, they realized, maybe this person isn't good for business. Like, this is what it took? I mean, I could have, you know, like, hire me and I'll risk assess people then. I'll fucking risk assess people for you before you hire them so you can avoid this. I won't even ask for that much cash. Just hire me and tell me the actors you want to hire, and it will take me, like, no more than 5 minutes, and I'll tell you, yeah, this guy is a problem maker. Like, he's going to tweet some edgy shit. I'll even tell you if they're going to tweet left-leaning or right-leaning things. So, Disney decided to intervene, since their statement could alienate half the film's potential audience. Okay, so instead of 4 people, they were worried that only 2 people will show up at the cinema. Which is Goku and Vegeta, duking it out. She already alienated almost everyone. The moment that she started talking about how she dislikes the fairy tale. And before that, you had Peter Dinklage. When you guys caved in and you're like, you know what, yeah, like Peter Dinklage is right. I'm willing to bet if Disney actually stepped up and they would have said, no, Peter Dinklage, like, we're sorry, but you actually took a role as a dwarf in Game of Thrones and you made yourself rich, so we think that it's unfair for you to now kick the ladder from other actors, right? Like, if Disney would have said that, they would have gotten respect. And if instead of, like, casting Rachel Ziegler as Snow White and you'd have casted her as the evil queen instead, then you would have people go out of their way just to see the film, to see the ending where she's being defeated. Like there would be people just taking the ending and just watching that on repeat. Right? And you'd have casted Gal Gadot as Snow White, and all of a sudden the casting makes choice, you're being viewed as based, you're being viewed as a company that at least has morals, even though you're still making shit. Because no one wants to see a live action of Snow White. Like we already know about all of your movies, we already know about all of your films, make something new for fuck's sakes. Stop doing like all these remakes and live adaptations, no one fucking cares. Good God, do they even have shit left? Like, what do they have left? They have, like, Princess and the Frog. They have Tarzan. Like, I'm desperate to see, like, who are they going to race swap in Tarzan? Like, no matter what they do, it's a lose condition for them, right? Like, if Tarzan is black and he's swinging around the jungle, I don't think that will fit well with this diversity initiative. They can't make Jane black, because, again, like, she would swing with Tarzan, right? So, like, that would be a problem. Who is going to voice act the gorillas? Again, are they going to be black actors? Because, like, there's three major gorillas that have to be voice acted, right? Like, it's the Tarzan's friend, like the childhood friend. It's the father gorilla and the mother gorilla. Probably some other gorillas. Like, are you going to cast black people to voice act? Oof. But, like, other than Tarzan and Princess and the Frog, like, well, what else does Disney have? Are we going to see a Frozen live adaptation? I mean, at this point, why the fuck not, right? Tangled? Jesus. They're going to do literally everything besides, like, just making something new. Such a waste. Such a shame. So apparently, like, Snow White performed poorly despite all the attention. When are they going to learn that not all attention is good attention? Like when you're going out of your way to insult people. Because that's the thing, you know, like, when you say, like, bad publicity is still good publicity, because, like, all publicity matters, well, it's when the person does something bad, right? Like Michael Jackson, when he was smeared in the media, his albums were selling a lot more. Why? I don't fucking know. But it is an observation, right? Like, he was accused of being a pedophile, which, despite being one of the worst accusations imaginable, like, I don't know what can be worse than that, people were still buying his albums even more than usual. Because that's how society works. Why? I don't know. I can only observe what's happening. I don't know what goes on in people's brains, but, like, that's probably why they said that all publicity is good publicity, right? Like, they looked at that and they say, well, if even, like, that accusation is not enough to get people to stop buying his albums, then I guess all publicity is good publicity. But that's not the case, because if Michael Jackson was to actually attack his fans, if he was to go out of the way and attack the people that purchase his music, then you'd see that people would stop buying. Because that is completely different, right? Like, it's one thing when you're involved in a controversy for something that you did which reflects against your image or your morals or your values, and you're in the news because of that. Well, it turns out that, yeah, like, it's true. Like, people will still buy your shit. For whatever reason, because they see the name, they see that, people still buy it. But if the controversy is you attacking people, you sending your employees, your actors to attack the public, to say that the public is racist, sexist, bigoted, misogynistic, and the idea is, like, if you're not a sexist, if you're not a racist, if you're not misogynistic, then you would buy our product, the public tells you to fuck off. That's, like, I think is the only bad publicity out there. Like, literally the only type of publicity that's bad. And so, it's not despite that all the attention Snow White performed poorly. It's pretty much because of the attention it performed poorly. Like, had they had absolutely no marketing, no trailer, it would have probably performed better. They also complain about Joker Folie Dieu. Again, this I think that the writer of Joker literally trolled them. So they're having a really bad time. Disney chose not to respond publicly, but the controversy continued. The studio was already cautious about free speech issues after Gina Carano. Oh, go fuck yourselves. You know, like, again, you can't run a campaign for years calling your people sexist and misogynistic, and you're all about empowering women and giving women a voice, and then you're worried about free speech. So they say all press is good press, but there's no outcast they were wrong. I already explained why that is. The film also suffered a delay in production due to COVID. No, you suffered a delay in production because you listened to Peter Dinklage, and then you casted a diversity group of people that look like hobos that were supposed to play the dwarves. And the receiving of that was so negative that you then have to go with CGI. And by the way, to this day, I still think that this was a PR scam that Disney was doing. Because I can't believe that one day Peter Dinklage just woke up and he decided to go against Disney, which is one of the companies that have so many connections. And if they want to ruin your acting career, they definitely can. But like, no, Peter Dinklage woke up and decided to shame Disney. And Disney decided to backpedal literally hours after the shaming and go like, yeah, you know, we're going to change our casting. I think they always wanted to cast those diverse group of people, specifically to have like the diversity checkbox. And so like they manufactured this controversy so that they have a justification to the public why they're not casting the dwarves and to look more progressive and woke than they already are. But they didn't expect how bad the casting would go. And probably even the person that made the casting decision, when they looked up at the result, they were like, yeah, I mean, this is pretty fucking bad. No, like we should do something else. Like, what can we do now? Well, we can't hire new actors. Let's just fucking go with CGI. And so yeah, no, this is well deserved. Like literally everything that's happening to Disney, every single thing is well deserved. I'm surprised that their little spurg out with Ron DeSantis is over, because like it was also funny how they managed to tie themselves to DeSantis's approval ratings. Like this baffles my brain to this day, right? Like you would see Florida man go after Disney, and whenever he would go after Disney, his approval ratings would go up. And when Disney would backfire and they would manage to pull some legal jutsu or something in order to fight back, his approval ratings would go down. So as a politician, it was now like him vested into fucking with Disney. Like imagine the type of company you need to be, like the type of PR you need to have, that like people are actually cheering for the politician that's fucking with you, despite the fact that you're paying massive amounts of taxes to the state and you're creating a lot of prestige, allegedly, right? Because like everyone from around the world that wants to see Disneyland, like they would go to Florida and they would spend money there and it brings tourism, and right? And despite all that, people still hated your guts. Yeah, no, like I'm actually curious if Disney is ever going to manage to claw back from this. I don't know what they will do, but like they need like a massive Hail Mary now. Like they need to think of something that like no one else thought about. They would have to be creative again, and I don't think they can. You know what they could do? Like what I would do if I was in charge of Disney? I would just take another fairy tale. I don't know, Hansel and Gretel. Like there's a lot of fairy tales out there, right? Anderson has a lot of interesting ones. Just pick a fairy tale. And do it with hand-drawn cartoons. Like find people that can do hand-drawn animations, no more digital stuff, so you can bring the magic back. So you can wow the public again. That's the thing that I would do, but like, I don't think they will. Anyway, right, let me know what you guys think. As usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.